This is the story of a girl named Odd Thomas who had a different kind of powers. Like she used to know what is the danger in the near future and who are going to die. She used to live in a small town which had very few people. One day a girl's spirit comes to her door, but she leaves without saying anything. Then Odd finds it strange to see her. That's why he also starts following her. The girl's spirit then sends Odd to a man. As soon as Odd comes to that man, the girl touches him. By doing this, Odd starts thinking about that girl. What happened to her that means what is she trying to tell Odd? This man actually raped this girl and killed her. Now knowing this, Odd feels very bad and he was also emotional. But still he faces that man. Seeing this, the man runs away from there. Then Odd also follows him, and after a long time he finally catches him and starts beating him. Now the police chief also comes here. There was a very good relationship between him and Odd. And he also knew that Odd had something special. Now we also see his friend who had come to meet him. Anyway, now Odd starts thinking about some strange people who didn't have faces. That means they didn't have eyes, nose, mouth, or anything. And she was taking Odd with her. Here she had captured many more people who were pleading to Odd to save them. But then suddenly a man with a gun comes here and kills these people one by one. As soon as he dies, Odd also wakes up from this dream. Yes, absolutely. He was dreaming. But he was restless and surprised that who can kill so many people? That means who is that man with a gun? Thinking about this, he leaves for his job the next day. He was actually a cook in a hotel. Here the police chief and his friends also come to meet him. But after a while another strange man comes here who was looking like a madman. He had many strange creatures around him. These were actually creatures of hell, which only appeared to some special people. That means those who had some power. And they only roamed around that man who was going to die very soon, because they enjoyed the terrible death. Maybe they got the power by this. Now the sight of these creatures was a sign of bloodshed and death. And the more these creatures will be seen, the more destruction will be. And the more painful death of that man will be. Now those creatures know that this man is going to die. So they used to gather around him, as if they were around that strange man to see his death. Because when he will die in a painful way, they will enjoy. But if they come to know that a man like Odd can see them, then they first kill that man. That's why Odd is scared to see them. But he acts as if he is not seeing them. Now he was very scared to see so many creatures around that strange man. That's why he starts following him. But then a friend of Odd comes here and tells him that I had a strange dream, in which I saw that I and another man have died. But not a normal death, but a terrible one. Because there was bloodshed everywhere. Now first Odd ignores this as a normal thing. But when his friend tells him about the death of another man, then he is shocked. Because exactly such people had come in his dream too. Now what was the matter? To know about this, Odd starts following that strange man again, who was surrounded by creatures. According to his appearance, Odd gives him the name Fungus. And after going to his house, Fungus also leaves from there. After his departure, Odd enters his house and starts searching. And starts looking for some more clues. But this house looked more like a junkyard. Looking at the stuff, it seemed that there are more people living here than Fungus. At the same time, all the files of the people of the town are found in a closet. Something was written on the front calendar on every date. But the 15th was crossed on the date of yesterday. which meant that this fungus is going to do something wrong on that day. Now suddenly a sound starts coming from a room. Immediately a door opens. And with a lot of wind, everything starts freezing there. Because of this, Odd was very scared. But taking care of himself, he goes to the room where the sound was coming from. He comes there and sees that a lot of birds are here. Immediately after that, a small hole starts forming there. And then it opens the whole way. The same strange creatures start coming out in large numbers from there. This was actually the door of hell, which opens in this room. Now, as soon as the door opens, a lot of creatures come out and spread all over the house. Seeing this, Odd was very scared. But still quietly, he leaves from here. On the way, he also took a file of a man with him. Because now he knew that this man fungus is definitely going to bring some punishment on the town. It may be an opening, because he looks like this. That's why Odd goes to the police chief's house and tells him that he met me at Fungus's house. I don't like him. Keep an eye on him. Now, because he trusted Odd, he agrees. In a while, these people check all their police records to find any evidence against Fungus. But it turns out that that man is absolutely fine. He has no police record. But despite this, the police chief tells his other officer to keep an eye on Fungus. And reassures Odd that don't worry. If we get any evidence against him, we will arrest him. That's when we meet an officer and his friend. And this is the same officer who will now keep an eye on Fungus. Anyway, the next day, Odd goes to his favorite place to eat with his friend. But that's when Odd sees Fungus, who was very angry and was coming towards him. That's why the two of them run away from here quickly. Because of Odd's powers, unknown people come into the bowling alley. He is surprised by this, but soon he realizes that this is my power, my strength. Now when these people go inside, they see the bowling alley staff, whose uniform was exactly the same as those of the people who came in his dreams. When he comes here, he feels strange, as if he was feeling very weak, which meant that something terrible is going to happen here. But there was no creature around the people here, so he was quite surprised. Why is this so? Now he calls his police chief again and tells his officer to send him here so that he can come and investigate. After a while, a senior officer comes here, who gets angry at Odd as soon as he comes. What is your problem? Why are you giving wrong information for so long? I went to Fungus's house. I didn't find anything there. In fact, ever since I went there, he has not even come home. Now you are telling us to search here. And tell me one thing, how do you know about such news? When nothing like this happens. Now to distract him and to stop his anger, Odd's friend tries to confuse him in her own words. She asks about the tattoo on his hand, on which Pod was written. Then he laughs at the senior officer and avoids this. Now here Odd also did not understand that I don't know what is going to happen in the city, that I am so restless. First I had a dream, then I saw my friend's death, then I saw Fungus, who had a lot of creatures around him. After all, what is all this? So now to get answers to all these questions, both go to Odd's friend's house. And she starts asking about his dream. She tells them everything in great detail. After hearing this, Odd gets very scared and tells her that no matter what, take your 2 daughters and get out of this town as soon as possible. Your life is also in danger. You go to your grandmother's house. And yes, don't tell them that you are coming without telling them. After that, he goes up to his 2 daughters. Wherever he sees a lot of creatures, then Odd ignores them. so that he does not know that he can see them. After this, these two, that is, Odd and his friend, leave from here. But they stop somewhere on the way. Then they hear a girl scream, who was very scared. This girl is no one else but the officer's friend who was keeping an eye on Fungus. At this time, there was a bloody dog behind him. She was just running to save her life. That's when someone shoots to kill those dogs. But his aim is wrong, and by mistake, that bullet hits that girl, due to which she dies. Seeing this, Odd and his friend quickly come to the girl's dead body. Both of them were very scared. Immediately after that, the police chief also comes here to inquire. She was also very surprised to see her dead body, because she met him this morning. They had dinner together, and now suddenly, she died after just 7 to 8 hours. Actually, someone had kidnapped this girl. Now here, Odd tells the police chief that the dog that was chasing this girl. I had also seen the same dog on Fungus's gear. Hearing this, the police chief tells all his officers to somehow find Fungus. Odd and his friend are also told to go home, so that nothing happens to them. But before going, Odd gives them a big, strong locket and forces them to wear it, then leaving his friend at his house as soon as Odd comes to his house. So here was something that surprised him. In the same washroom, Fungus's dead body is found. Looking at Fungus's condition, it seemed that someone had killed him about 8 to 10 hours ago. So from this, we come to know that when Odd told the police that Fungus is a strange person, keep an eye on him. So the police came to his house and started searching, because of which Fungus's friends thought it was a threat to them. That's why they killed Fungus, which meant that if his friends are alive, then what is going to be dangerous tomorrow? That is, on the 15th, it will happen. After thinking about everything, he comes up with a plan. He leaves Fungus's dead body in an empty mill and comes back from there. When he was on the way, he saw those creatures in thousands everywhere, on every road. They were bringing firewomen from every house, which meant that there was going to be a terrible destruction tomorrow. Maybe the whole city will be destroyed. There, a stranger comes to the police chief's house and shoots him 3 to 4 times and runs away. But as soon as Odd finds out, he goes straight to the hospital where he meets his wife and tells her that the locket you gave him did not cause a heart attack. He just collided and came back. But his condition is very delicate. His operation is going on. Now the whole situation was messed up and Odd was very worried. So to find a clue, he goes back to Fungus's house. And from the computer, he starts checking the history of the internet, so that he can find out what Fungus had searched, in which he gets some details of black magic, devils, and such websites, from which he immediately understands that all these people are going to open the door of Dratch and Hell here, from which all those devils will come in this world and torture people badly and kill them. Now he also gets information about a van and some bombs. Just now he was seeing all this, that's when he starts hearing a strange noise from the kitchen. So that's why he starts going there to check. The noise was